So smoking is one of the most preventable causes of death, yet about 7 million people die of it a year. And I know so many teens that smoke, and I like wish that they wouldn't, because it's just so dangerous and toxic for you. And more than 16 million Americans are currently living with a disease that is directly linked to tobacco use, according to the CDC. And nicotine causes so many side effects. Cigarettes are like full of these chemicals that make them very dangerous and toxic, and also highly addictive. And I can say from experience, like losing somebody very close to you is like very hard to watch just because they were smoking and they didn't have to do that. So some of these like negative side effects that are directly linked would be like heart disease, and that's not good because your heart's connected to like everything. When you have heart disease, it can cause like pain. It affects a lot of the flow of the blood to your heart, so it's like you could have neck pain, back pain, your arms hurt, your legs, just everything hurts pretty much, and you're just in like chronic pain. But there's also so many different kinds of cancers, like throat, mouth, lungs, just so many different kinds. And nobody wants to have to go through cancer and all that. Regular nicotine use can increase your blood pressure, your heart rate, like I said, the flow of blood to your heart, and like narrowing your arteries and like hardening arterial walls, which just pretty much means all these things can cause a heart attack. You don't want to have a heart attack, especially if you're younger too. And if all those side effects weren't enough, there's a reason why there's so many of them, and it's because cigarettes, the smoke of a cigarette contains like more than 5,000 chemical components. I was looking at some of the chemicals when I was like researching this, and I don't even know how to say majority of them, or I like haven't even heard of them before, but some of those lovely chemicals include arsenic, formaldehyde, and polonium-210. That last one is literally radioactive, and it's in cigarettes that people just don't even think about, like what they're consuming. I think that's crazy that there's radioactive chemical in there, but and nicotine's so addictive and it has its withdrawal effects, but newer products like vapes will deliver like more it's like more potent than just like smoking a cigarette. You're getting like a whole cigarette in one like puff of vape. So your withdrawal effects would probably be even harder. Maybe not harder, but it's still quite difficult to probably quit any sort of nicotine if you're already addicted. And if you weren't already worried about like yourself smoking and what it's gonna do to you, you should be worried about like your loved ones and the people around you that smoke. And I say this because in like late 2012, early 2013, I lost my grandpa because he would smoke. I don't know how much it was, but it was a lot. He went through packs very regularly, but he also was diabetic, so it was another risk factor for him. And he ended up getting heart disease. And he wasn't that old. I want to say he's like in his 60s or 70s. And he was the first of my grandparents who had passed, so that was difficult to deal with in like second grade, you know. But I want to say the worst part was like going to the hospital and like seeing him like that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but almost everybody in here has probably had a grandparent who passed away like in the hospital, or at least they were there for a while and they ended up at home. But that's not something you want to watch, especially when you're a little kid. And my mom and Nana were there with him like when he passed. I don't know how they went through that, because if that was me, I would not be able to deal with that. Even now, like watching your spouse or your parent, that's not fun. But so like nobody wants to go through the pain of losing somebody so close to them, or vice versa. You don't want anybody to go through the pain of losing you. And so I know too many teens that smoke, and I wish that they would stop, because it is so dangerous and toxic. And since it has so many side effects, cigarettes are full of chemicals, and it's hard to watch people like pass away from it, even though it could have so easily been prevented. I hope after hearing all this, like you think about next time, like if you're like offered a cigarette or just any sort of chance for people are smoking, you just like think about how it could like affect you later in life.